This is the review for exam 2. The exam should look very much like the previous exam. 20 multiple choice questions and then various problems. Typically, there'll be like 5 problems and a bonus. Uh, so depending on the exam, that varies, but it shouldn't be much more than that. But there will always be 20 multiple choice questions, and the problems are 40% of the exam, and the multiple choice are 60% of the exam. Don't forget your cheat sheet, 8.5 by 11 inches. Also, I highly encourage you to submit your work. It's optional, but if you submit your work, I will consider your work for assigning partial credit on any problems that you miss. So, before I get started, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so we have 3 types of loans that we went over them a few weeks back, but we have this first problem is a discount method. We have add-on method, and then declining balance. And basically, discount method and add-on method are what I call sleazeball loans. So truthfully, would be hard to use these methods and comply with the Truth in Lending Act, but that doesn't mean that people aren't still trying to use these types of loans. So the your standard payday loan is not far from this. So the um, so the so and definitely on your cheat sheet, if you have any trouble differentiating between the two, use between the three, not the two. Use your cheat sheet to differentiate. So discount method, we're going to calculate the interest. We're going to calculate the interest, and we're going to subtract that from the loan amount, and that's going to be the amount that the borrower actually receives. So, but go through the question here. Hunter's buying a boat from the Five Finger Boat Company. Five Fingers will finance it for 3 years at 12% using the discount method. The amount of the loan will be $200,000. How much is Hunter's monthly payment? How much is Hunter actually borrowing? And what is the APR on Hunter's loan? So payment is simple. So payment is just the loan amount divided by the number of payments. So 3 years is 36 months. So that's 200,000 divided by 36. And that is $5,555.56 a month. The interest is the next step. So we're going to calculate the interest and then subtract it from the payment, and that's the amount that he'll actually receive. So it's 200,000. It's principal times the rate, 12%, 0.12 times time, which is 3 years. So $128,000. Sorry, I'm reading my paper wrong. That's $72,000. So the actual amount borrowed is 200,000 minus the 72,000, and that's 128,000. So just to be clear, this is A, this is B, and then the C, the APR. I'm going to use our calculator. So it's N is 3 years monthly, so 3 times 12, that's 36. PV is the amount that he actually received, 128,000. And then the payment is the $5,555.56 entered as a negative. And then future value is 0. And then we compute IY. We get 2.64. That's a monthly rate. Since we have monthly payments, it'll give us a monthly rate. So 2.64 times 12. We have to annualize it to get the APR, annual percentage rate, is what that stands for. 31.73%. So get an idea of how. So the actual rate on the loan was 31.73, but the stated rate on the loan was 12%. Any questions about the discount method?
Well, I'm looking at the numbers. Is that supposed to be a 6 or a 30 for the end?
Where
For part C, it says 3 times 12, and it looks like a 0, or is that a 6?
so under interest?
Well, it says C APR N equals 3 times 12 equals, is that a 30 or a 36?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 36. Yes,
Okay.
3 times 12 is 36. Yes, sorry. That's it. No, yeah. Writing too fast.
Okay.
So, all right. So next problem. So, I'll read the question. Ray Wiley borrowed $1 million using a 20-year mortgage with APR of 3.25%. How much? Not very. How much is Ray's monthly payment? The so the so 20 years monthly. That's 240. The and just if it doesn't say so, it's declining balance. I mean, that's what you should expect, but the there if you're borrowing somebody that you know that you think is suspect, you may want to look into it. Look into it. Read the paperwork. Do the calculations on your calculator. Um, but so IY is the APR 325 divided by 12. So that's 0.27, and remember that the calculator carries those numbers. So do the calculation, hit equals, and then press IY. EV is the loan amount, $1 million, and then future value is 0. So that's just telling it you're paying the loan off. Then compute payment. That's $5,671.96. That is the answer to part A. The answer will come out as a negative on your exam. You they would type in 5,671.96. So exactly as it reads, no negative sign. So B says, what's the balance after 5 years? So the so what we need to do is determine the number of payments that are left. So there, after 5 years, there's 15 years remaining on the mortgage. 12 payments a year is 180, and then we compute PV, and we get $807,202.18. So remaining payments. The biggest mistake students make on this question is they enter the number of payments that that have been made. That that just um, that just gives you the value of those payments. So
So when we enter it in on our calculator, would it recall everything else that we previously entered?
yeah, all this stays in there, and you're just changing in and computing the PV. That's a good question, because the your calculator will remember all of this, and that's actually why I like when there's nothing, when you have, no, they don't have a value like here, which why you go ahead and enter a 0 here. So I don't use the clear feature. I just go the way I work the calculator is I enter 4 of the 5 and then compute the 5th. So in the first one, we're entering in IY, PV, and future value. So in the second one, we're changing in. So we have we have N, IY, future value, and payment. So then using those 4, we can calculate the present value. That makes sense?
Sir?
Yeah, if you have any 4 of those 5, the information for any of those 4 of those 5s, you can calculate the 5th. That's the way the logic on the calculator works. So, all right.
So what will be the future value if it was part B? Would it be the 1 million?
No, it'd be 0. Future value is still 0. Because you're still paying that loan off at the end of those 20 years or the remaining 15 years. So you want that value to be 0.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the only time we're going to have a future value is when we're saving money, and in the calculations we do in this class. A positive future value, I guess that's the.
I'm glad you made that clear, because when I was watching the video from last time, I thought that it was just computing the present value just off of the new end value, but I didn't realize it was computing it off of A.
Well, I apologize for any confusion.
No,
Yeah.
it makes sense now.
Okay, good. That's part of the reason I do it multiple times. For repetition is always good, and and apparently I missed one of the important points. So, anybody else before I move on? All right. So All right, so this question is add-on method. So Joe's buying an Escalade from Nancy's Auto Sales, the dealer providing Nancy. Nancy uses the add-on method. If Joe borrows $90,000 at 8% for 4 years, what is the payment on his loan? And what's the APR on his loan? So so discount method, we subtract the interest. On add-on method, we add the interest. So for part A, we're gonna interest calculation is the same. So it's principal, 90,000 times rate times time. So 90,000 times 8% for 4 years. That's $28,800. So his payment is the principal plus the interest. So 118,000 divided by the number of payments. That would be 4 years monthly. So that's 48. So that's $2,475. So in this case, he is truly borrowing $90,000. But the way the add-on method works, he does it's as if he's keeping the 90,000 out for the entire 4 years. He doesn't get any benefit for paying the loan back. So that's the 2,475 is A. The APR. So again, 4 years monthly, 4 times 12, 48. PV is the loan amount. Payment is the negative $2,475. I should have pointed this out. If you enter, you need the sign to get the calculator to work. If you enter the payment as a positive number, you would get an error message. So future value is 0. Then we compute IY and get 1.20, and then that's a monthly rate, so we need to annualize it. We multiply it by 12 and get 14.35%. So the add-on's not quite as bad as discount, but it's still, your actual APR is 14.35% versus what's stated is 8%. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So the next one is the is a mortgage refinancing problem. So Mala bought her house 20 years ago. She borrowed $500,000 with a 30-year mortgage with a 6% APR. Her mortgage broker has offered her a 10-year mortgage. That's the remaining term of the mortgage, a 3% APR, 2 points closing costs. So the first thing, and this is set up to kind of take you through the process of analyzing the refinancing. So we're trying to figure out, here we're going to calculate how long she needs to live in the house to recoup the costs. So the original mortgage, 30 years monthly, so 30 times 12, 360. IY is 6% monthly, so 6 divided by 12, that's 0.5. PV is the 500,000. And then payment, we're calculating payment. Future value is 0. And we compute payment. That's $2,997.75. So now the balance. So after 20 years, there's 10 years left. So 10 years monthly, 10 times 12 is 120 payments. And then just like before, compute PV. We get $270,017.93. Note that even after 20 years, she hasn't paid off half of the value of the mortgage. So the new mortgage is next. So new monthly payment. So it's a 3% APR. So we just need to enter our IY here, and so it's 3% monthly. 3 divided by 12, so that's 0.25. And then we compute payment. And it's going to come out, it'll be a negative $2,607.31. So our payment is falling from the 2,000, sorry, that should have been, I didn't put a negative sign there. $2,997.75. My writing's terrible. It's a little better. So so we're saving $2,997.75 minus $2,607.31. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty beneficial. So our savings, $2,997.75 minus the $2,607.31. $390.44 a month. So now, next part is to calculate points. Now the points is the new loan amount, which is going to be the ending balance. We're assuming in this analysis, we're assuming that we're paying the points as opposed to financing them, which is what most people do. So $270,017.93, and we got 2 points closing costs, so that's times 0.02. A point is 1%. So that is $5,400.36. So now, part D, we're going to plug that into our calculator and solve for n, and that's going to tell us what how long, when we saw how many months she needs to live in the house to recoup the $5,400. So so I do this, I use the original rate. So IY is 6% monthly, so that's 0.5. PV is the points, so that's, you're paying that, so it's negative $5,400.36. Payment is the savings, the monthly savings, the $390.44. And then we compute n, and we get 14.37 months. So it's pretty easy to see that as long as she's planning to live in the house for the next 15 months, she's going to benefit from, or at least break even from refinancing the mortgage. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they refinance is not thinking about how long you intend to be in a house. The so it's an important part of the analysis, because most mortgages are paid off or refinanced within 7 years. That's the average life of a mortgage is less than 7 years. In that, people move, people pay off their mortgage, people refinance, so forth. So it can be any of those, but that's why mortgage companies will offer you, um, uh, inducements. They'll, for example, when you're buying your house, they'll offer you a lower rate if you're willing to pay points up front, and you get to deduct those points from your taxes. But you need to be in the home for whatever period of time you need to recoup those costs. So they're they're hoping or they're betting that you're going to refinance, uh, um, before that 7 years or so is up. So, questions about mortgage refinancing?
No, sir.
You could do this analysis with your own mortgage. Take take your statement and so forth. Probably, if you have a mortgage now, it's probably likely that your rates, 30-year mortgage right now is 7% or so. So it's likely that your current rate is lower than market rate. So, and don't fall for the rocket mortgage, and others do this all the time. They talk about refinancing to shorten the term of your mortgage. There's no need to refinance. You can simply just increase your payment and reduce the life of your mortgage. So you don't have to refinance to do that. But I personally think that's a really sleazy practice. But the Rocket does it regularly. They talk about the lower rates you can get with a 15-year, and it's but you need to consider the costs that you're paying, and a lot of times you're paying more in cost than you're receiving in benefit. So you could just start paying more. So it it's there are even in, I guess the point being is that even seemingly legitimate companies have sleazy practices. We've see that my example, Rocket Mortgage, but the Wells Fargo, and they're putting people into accounts that they didn't, so forth. I think Wells Fargo paid the biggest fine um, in history, in the billions of dollars. So it that's why we need to understand these things. So, any questions?
No, sir.
All right. That's all I have. So I will let you go. And the you have any issues between now and the exam, let me know. Glad to help you out.
Thank you.
You're You're welcome. Y'all have a good day.
You too.